Alrighty. Good evening. This is a public meeting of the Board of Education of Clark Public Schools. Adequate notice of this meeting has been in accordance with PL 1975, Chapter 231, that a special notice was made in conformance with Section 13 of the Act.
And can I get a motion to return to public? I see Ms. Akalonis and Ms. Hickman. Roll call.
All in favor?
All in favor? Aye. Okay, at this point, can we just rise for the pledge?
To the flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, at this point, can I get a roll call, please?
Ms. Akalonis?
Here.
Mr. Besavinga?
Yes. Here, I'm sorry.
Mr. Bohm?
Here.
Mr. Breedy? Ms. Guerrero?
Here.
Ms. Harrison?
Here.
Ms. Hickman?
Here.
Mr. Lewis?
Here.
Mrs. Smorl?
Here.
And Mr. Dunkersloot.
Here.
Having 9 board members who have a quorum.
At this point, am I handing it over to you, Mr. Vizuzza, for the student board oath?
Yes. Mr. Mazza, if you'd like to step up, please.
Shall I begin?
Just read from the paper.
Yep, all right. I, Aiden Mazza, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and the Constitution, and the governments, established in the United States and this state, under the authority of the people. I, Aiden Mazza, do solemnly swear that I will possess the qualifications for the office of student member of a Board of Education, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of that office according to the best of my ability. Do I have a pen to sign this? Do I have a pen for signature? Thank you. Thank you. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Aiden, and welcome. All right, so at this time, can we move to the approval of minutes? Can I get a motion? Ms. Akalonis, followed by Ms. Guerrero. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Ms. Akalonis?
Yes.
Mr. Besavinga?
Yes.
Mr. Bohm?
Abstain.
Ms. Guerrero?
Yes.
Ms. Harrison?
Yes.
Ms. Hickman?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Mrs. Smorl?
Yes.
And Mr. Dunkersloot.
Abstain.
Motion carried.
All right, so at this time, we're going to open the floor to the public for agenda items only. So if there's anything on the agenda that you'd like to discuss, now would be the time. At the end of the meeting, we can discuss non-agenda items. Are there anybody in the public? Seeing none? Okay. At this point, we're going to hand it over to Mr. Grande.
Good evening. We have terrific news to announce. We received notification from the New Jersey Department of Education this afternoon that our application for universal preschool funding has been approved. Many thanks to the board for their unwavering support of this initiative. And in particular, Mr. Lewis, you gave us your Rolodex of contacts throughout the county and the state, and those proved to be invaluable. You scrimmaged with me, as I like to say, and since 2009, when we implemented full-day kindergarten, you've been a visionary to our early childhood full-day program, so thank you. And again, thank you to the full board. No additional details are available at this point because we just simply received a letter today stating that we received the funding. Those additional details will be forthcoming in the coming weeks, and we will be sure to push those out to the community in every possible way. Tap into Clark, our district website, any means possible to get that information out. But for the time being, we ask for everyone's patience because we simply have notification that we're receiving that funding. Many thanks.
Yeah, I want to take basically the community through our journey. In 2007, we had a vision that 2.5 hours of kindergarten wasn't working. The committee was basically led by Jill Curran, Lorraine Acalonis, and Laura Calaguire and myself. It came to fruition in 2009. This is our 15th year of full-day kindergarten. We talked about funding, how it would work, and it has been seamless, to say the least, for the children of the Clark schools. We knew there was a big hole for the past few years of pre-K. We're basically thankful to have Ed Yergalonis as the captain of the schools, of the vision that he basically had. We worked as a team, a Board of Education that is fully committed. I felt the single most important thing is early childhood education. I always felt, looking at what other towns have, we're ahead of the curve with kindergarten. A lot of districts don't even have it. They're still doing a lottery system. This program is off the charts. It's a 5-year grant from 2025 to 2030 for 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds. The biggest prize, the most important thing in anyone's life is education. And when you start at 3 years old and understand the financial burdens that we all have, one of the biggest expenses is early childhood care. And now we're going to have certified teachers, professionals that are going to basically, in the coming months, hear how this program is going to work. I can't think of a more enjoyable moment than knowing that we received this grant. Mr. Yergalonis, I'm sorry, Mr. Yergalonis, Mr. Grande worked hard with a group of specialists, professional grant writers, people who put enormous amount of time into the community and things that they did for the Clark schools. And now what do we have? We have universal child care. And when I say child care, I take it to the next level because it's a preschool program that I really, really feel we're complete. For the next 5 years, it's not a burden of $600, $800. Some programs, $1,500. This is such a rewarding feature to the people of the Clark community. So I say this, and we talk, and we go through all these different silly issues on the Board of Education. It's a credit to you, Mr. Grande. Your work ethic, your commitment to the schools, your commitment to the township, and you're one of Clark's own. You went through the Clark schools. So you're original Clarkie, but you really care about education. You want to make it right. And believe me, I'm ecstatic for the township and for the Clark schools. And I personally want to thank you from the Board of Education for your work, your commitment, your dedication for the Clark schools. Thank you, Mr. Grande.
Mr. Smorl?
Yes, I'd just like to add, I was on the Finance Committee some years ago when we had to make the difficult decision to eliminate the preschool program within our district because we just couldn't afford to pay for it. But to his credit, Mr. Lewis never took it off of his radar and was in constant communication with Mr. Grande to look for opportunities. And as you can see, it has come to fruition. So it's just a great accomplishment to see how disappointed and frustrated we were some years ago when we had to eliminate the program, and now we have an opportunity to bring the program back. So to both of you gentlemen, congratulations and thank you for all your efforts.
Thank you.
Ms. Acalonis?
Yes, I would also like to echo the sentiments that were already mentioned, but as a former supervisor of the preschool in Roy, among other responsibilities, I saw the growth of the children that had the preschool experience. It is so important to start an education when a child is 3 years old and 4 years old, because they're like little sponges, and everything that they see and hear, they learn and they absorb. And the fruits of their learning really continues out and is very evident through the upper elementary grades, middle school, and high school. So it's so important to have a preschool program in a district. I was also, as Mr. Lewis said, on the committee when we developed our half-day preschool here in Clark, and I was just very, very upset when we had to disband the program. That was very, very disheartening. And I am just so pleased and so proud of Mr. Grande, and thank you, Mr. Lewis, for all the work you've done. I am just really thrilled. I'm repeating myself like a parrot, but I'm thrilled and happy that the parents are going to have an opportunity to send their children to a preschool that the Clark schools are going to sponsor. And I'm looking forward to working with Mr. Grande and whoever else is going to enhance the program. And I'm just looking forward so much to starting our little ones off on a good road, educational road. So thank you again. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Akalonis. All right, seeing no other comments, we'll move on to personnel items 1 through 19. Can I get a motion? Mr. Lewis, followed by Mr. Bencivenga. Any questions or comments? A roll call, please.
Ms. Akalonis?
Yes.
Mr. Bencivenga?
Yes.
Mr. Bohm?
Yes.
Ms. Guerrero?
Abstain on 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 16, 17. Yes on the rest.
Thank you. Ms. Harrison?
Yes.
Ms. Hickman?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis? Mr. Smurl? Yes. And Mr. Dunkersloot?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Next, we have curriculum and education, item number 20. Can I get a motion? Ms. Harrison, followed by Ms. Akalonis. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Ms. Akalonis?
Yes.
Mr. Bencivenga?
Yes.
Mr. Bohm?
Yes.
Ms. Guerrero?
Abstain.
Ms. Harrison?
Yes.
Ms. Hickman?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. Smurl?
Yes.
And Mr. Dunkersloot?
Yes.
Motion carried.
That brings us to policy item number 21. Can I get a motion? I see Mr. Bohm, followed by Mrs. Hickman. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Ms. Akalonis?
Yes.
Mr. Bencivenga?
Yes.
Mr. Bohm? Ms. Guerrero?
Yes.
Ms. Harrison?
Yes.
Ms. Hickman?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. Smurl?
Yes.
And Mr. Dunkersloot?
Yes.
Motion carried.
And now we have board governance items 22 through 29. Can I get a motion? Mr. Bencivenga, Ms. Akalonis, any questions or comments? Roll call.
Ms. Akalonis?
Yes.
Mr. Bencivenga?
Yes.
Mr. Bohm?
Yes.
Ms. Guerrero?
Abstain on 24. Yes on the rest.
Ms. Harrison?
Yes.
Ms. Hickman?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. Smurl?
Yes.
And Mr. Dunkersloot?
Yes.
Motion carried.
And then finally, that brings us to finance 30 to 38. Can I get a motion? See Mr. Smurl, followed by, can I get a second? By Ms. Akalonis. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Ms. Akalonis?
Yes.
Mr. Bencivenga?
Yes.
Mr. Bohm?
Yes.
Ms. Guerrero?
Abstain on 32 and 35, and yes on the rest.
Ms. Harrison?
Yes.
Ms. Hickman?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. Smurl?
Yes.
And Mr. Dunkersloot?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. And now we'll hand it to Mr. Grande for the report of the superintendent.
Good evening, and thank you, Mr. Donkersloot. Welcome, Aiden. Aiden's been with us his entire educational career, starting as a kindergartner at Henley School, moving to Kumpf Middle School, and now an AP capstone student at Arthur L. Johnson High School. He's the captain of our speech and debate team and a member of the Crusader News, among many other things. He's planning to major in environmental science next fall due to his passion for learning about our environment. On this evening's agenda, we're also accepting the retirement of Mr. Alberto Gonzalez, a Spanish teacher for 25 years here at Arthur L. Johnson, and we wish Ed the very best of luck in his next life adventures. This evening, we're approving our district goals for this school year, 24-25. Some background, our goals are developed annually to help guide the district moving forward. They're based on the work of the Board of Education committees with input from administrators, staff, and parents. And we continually measure our progress towards meeting these goals throughout the course of the school year. Our 3 goals this year: number 1, to use assessment results as a tool for informing our instruction and to differentiate instructional tasks given to students. Second, to prepare for a referendum that will enable us to upgrade our facilities. And number 3, to enhance our early childhood education program via the preschool education PEA process. The New Jersey Department of Education created a tool for the purpose of schools self-assessing under the Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights Act. The following values are the scores for our schools that were accepted this evening. These values are not to be confused with percentages, since they are not based out of 100. Instead, they are merely benchmark values for us to compare our past and future values to. Arthur L. Johnson, 74 out of 78. Carl H. Kumpf, 74 out of 78. Frank A. Henley School, 75 out of 78. Valley Road School, 76 out of 78. And Clark Preschool Annex, 74 out of 78. Each district is required to report to the public twice yearly detailing the number of incidences of violence, vandalism, substances, weapons, and confirmed HIV cases that have been reported for the given reporting period. In this case, January 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2024. 12 cases were reported for ALJ this reporting period, for a total of 23 for the entire school year. 1 for Carl H. Kumpf, 2 for the year, none for Frank A. Henley, 1 for the year, and none for Valley Road School, 2 for the year. Next Wednesday, we'll be giving the PSAT to all 9th through 11th grade students, that being Wednesday, October the 16th. And the following Wednesday, we're moving the test down to grade 8 for the 2nd year in a row to give us important data for the scheduling process. And thank you, Mrs. Oliveira, for bringing that initiative to us. Schools will be closed for students and staff this coming Columbus Day, Monday the 14th. Thank you and have a great evening.
Thank you, Mr. Grandy. All right, so moving on to the committees. Do we have any report of the committees at this time? Seeing none, we'll move on to unfinished or new business. Seeing none, and for the first time, we're going to hand it over to Aiden for our student board member update.
Thank you, and good evening. I'll begin my report with events at Arthur L. Johnson High School. Starting on September 9th and concluding on the 20th, Lincoln benchmark assessments were administered to all underclassmen. Alongside that, both back-to-school night and senior sunrise were held on the 19th. Senior Sunrise is a senior privilege at Arthur L. Johnson, which brings together the senior class early in the morning to watch the sunrise. Closing off September on the 26th, staff and students alike were dressed their best for Picture Day. Looking ahead, this Wednesday is the homecoming dance, and the homecoming game will be this Friday. Over at Carl H. Kumpf, progress reports will be released on October 9th. Alongside this, their unified sports team will have their first exciting soccer game at Milburn on the 22nd. The following day, on October 23rd, 8th grade students will be administered the PSAT, prepping them for the SAT, which they have the option to take later in their high school career. At Frank A. Henley School, students were greeted by the school mascot Froggy at their annual Welcome Back assembly at the start of this September. Following this, on the 17th, parents were welcomed at the Back to School Night event. There was a great turnout this year, and many parents came to learn about what their students would be doing this school year. Following suit with ALJ, Henley also closed off September with Picture Day on the 26th. Valley Road School also started this September with a Back to School Night, introducing parents to the classroom on September 16th. After this, students and staff were photographed for Picture Day on the 20th. To start off October, the school will be hosting a book fair from October 8th to the 10th. Looking towards the preschool, they have successfully hosted a back-to-school night this September. Alongside this, the students are adjusting well to the new routine that the school brings. Finally, the school has been able to offer 2 classes in the preschool for students who require special education. Thank you.
Thank you, Aiden. All right, so at this time, we'll open it up to the public for hearing the public for non-agenda items only. So if there's anything you'd like to discuss that was not on the agenda, now would be your time. Step up to the podium. You have 3 minutes. State your name and your address. Any comments? Okay.
Bill Draghi, 47 Post Road, Clark, New Jersey. I'm here to protest Governor Murphy's law, which says the teachers must teach LGBTQ classes, education to our students. Now, I think it only goes from, you only have to teach the LGBTQ who only from 6 years older and up, or is it any younger?
Those specifics, if you call my office, I can provide you with.
Oh, you don't know the answer?
I'm sorry, you asking me?
No, I'm asking Mr. Grande.
It's not as simple as just giving you. It's not as simple as just giving you a yes or a no, because as I've suggested before, you would really need to come in because there's different elements that are addressed at the various grade levels throughout our K-12 program.
But hopefully, certainly it won't apply to the early childhood new education that you're doing now.
We pride ourselves on the education we provide our students with are in alignment with our community's values. And again, my office is always open if you want to come in and have a discussion. I've offered that to you on numerous occasions.
Okay. Along with the LGBTQ education that Governor Murphy requires, he also requires abortion education to the students too. That was the latest thing, along with the LGBTQ. And I suppose they are teaching, if they're doing anything on abortion, they probably have something to do with the abortion pill. And if it is being taught, I can't seem to find any information on exactly what is being taught. I tried to find it a few times. But if it is on the abortion pill, they should be actually saying, and there can't be anything against this telling the truth, that the abortion pill is like 2 stages. It prevents the sperm from reaching the egg. But if it does reach the egg, then there is an actual being is produced, a human being, and then it prevents it from getting up the tube. And then it would actually be an abortion. And they don't know exactly how many times. Like if it is used. Yeah. All right.
Hi, Jessica DiBiase, 42 Kenneth Place. The girls were just wondering how we're doing on the progress for the 2025 gymnastics team.
Mr. Kalikas, I will ask Mr. Kalikas to touch base with you this week so we can see where we're at for the fall of 2025.
Okay. I think something needs to be submitted by the first of the year. Is that
Yes.
still the
Yep.
case right now?
For a co-op to NJSIAA. Yep.
Yes, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just wanted to make a point, so I think it's important. And I believe 2 weeks, the county basically gymnastics tournament is going to be at Scotch Plains.
Yeah.
All student athletes from Clark can basically enter in that tournament. I think it would be healthy and good. It's basically, I believe, 9 schools that are involved in Union County. So I think the student athletes would have a great opportunity to participate with the rest of the county. And that's an open tournament that, if you talk to Mr. Kalikas, we'll make sure that they have entry in to participate in that tournament.
Even if they haven't competed as a school?
They can compete individually, and there is certain criteria for them to participate, and I think it would be great experience for them to get involved. So if you talk to Mr. Kalikas, I'll call him and talk to him about that tomorrow, because I think it's a good introduction to where you want to go as far as the program.
Okay, thanks for that, I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Is there any other comments from the public for non-agenda items? Okay, so seeing none, we're going to close out the meeting. Can I get a motion to adjourn, or, yep, I see enough. Ms. Correa, Ms. Morrow, all in favor? Thank you, everybody.